saw eye to eye. That's putting it mildly. I mean, it was rough, but we got here, right? So I'm going to walk away as a just a minute.
12 years ago, I was introduced to a drug called crystal meth and instantly became hooked. I experimented with other mind-altering substances in high school and was able to basically use these drugs only socially and on occasion. This was not the case, however, when it came to meth. All it took was one hit and I was hooked. This stuff made me feel like a champ. It gave me so much energy. I loved it. I worked construction and found that I was able to pull 10 and 12-hour shifts 5 days a week, no problem, and still have enough energy at the end of the day to party late into the night. It became an everyday thing and got to the point where I didn't just want to do it, I needed to do it. I had to have it. I was addicted and it began to take control of my life. I spent all my money on it and neglected my responsibilities. Bills piled up, traffic tickets turned to warrant, and I got fired from my job for excessive targets. With no money coming in to support my habit, I resorted to doing crime. I started burglarizing commercial buildings, abandoned warehouses, and construction sites. Before long, I caught a case and spent 2 years in the state penitentiary. When I was finally released, I was able to land a good job and get back on my feet. But it wasn't long before I started to use again. I tried to keep it under control though, and thought I was doing a pretty good job of it. I was living a double life. In one, I was doing the family thing, camping trips, family functions, holidays, and dinner at my parents' house every Sunday. I even coached a Little League baseball team for a few seasons. I figured if I kept up the appearances and did normal things, no one would ever suspect I was using. But in my other life, I was running amok, partying hard, hustling, and pretty much just destroying myself. This went on for about 5 years before I really started slipping up. One day I had left a bag of meth in the restroom at home, and my girlfriend found it. My sister was living with us at the time, and my girlfriend told her what she had found. I lied and said that it didn't belong to me. But the worst part of this whole situation was that my sister had 2 little girls living there with us, my nieces, Bird and Bug. What if they had gotten a hold of it? I had put their lives in danger. Needless to say, I had to move out. This is when I really started to lose control. I was using very heavily, hanging out with a bad crowd, and doing deals. Finally one day I got pulled over by the Anaheim PD. I tried to run, but I didn't get far. There was a lot of them, and they had taser guns. They found a large amount of meth on me, and I was off to jail. In court, I was given the option of 2 years state prison or an 18-month program called drug court. They said if I took drug court, I would be back out on the streets the next day. So naturally, I took it, but solely for the reason that I would be able to get loaded again. I had no intention on doing this program. So I got released the next day and reported to probation to get the rundown. 1 group meeting a week, one-on-ones, specialty groups, testing 3 days a week, court every other week, probation once a week, 5 ending meetings a week. Plus I had to check into a sober living home while I was waiting for a bed to open up at some place called the Phoenix House. When I left, I was like, yeah, right, I'm not going to do this. That night I went to see my parents to let them know what the situation was. I told them about the program and said that I wasn't going to do it. I'd rather just do the 4 months in jail. But my mom wasn't having it. She said that if I didn't do the program and get help, I pretty much couldn't be a part of the family anymore. This really hit me deep and hurt. Our family has always been close, and we all love each other very much. My family is the most important thing to me in my life, and I couldn't imagine not being a part of it anymore. So I went home, thought it over, and decided to give it a try. At this time, I wasn't ready to give up using, and I didn't. I found that if I got loaded right after testing on Friday, I would be clean for testing on Monday. I did this for 3 weeks, and then got the infamous unknown caller call on my phone. It was Deanna Quinn. and she wanted to know if there was anything I wanted to tell her. I said no, and she said that I had tested dirty and I need to come turn myself in right now. I said okay, hung up the phone, and said yeah, right. I wasn't going to turn myself in. They were going to have to come and find me. And finally they did 1 week later. Back to jail I went. 2 weeks later, the Phoenix House picked me up. This was the big turning point in my recovery. I really think the Phoenix House saved my life. After about 2 months, something clicked in my brain, and I wanted to change. The Phoenix House taught me how to live without needing to get loaded. I learned a lot about myself and my addiction and how to stay clean. After 4 months, I was able to get a job and spent most of my time back in the real world. I woke up early in the morning, took a bus to work, and was back home before dinner, just like normal society. After completing the Phoenix House, I had to move into sober living for 3 months, and then finally back home. All of a sudden, things started to fall into place. I landed a decent job, working nights in a grocery store, stocking shelves. Took the GED test, and surprisingly passed it on the first shot, and married the love of my life. Good things have been happening, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. I know my fight with this addiction is far from over, but I have been given tools, and I'm confident I will be able to use them. I would like to say thanks to my therapist, Tally. I've seen a lot of therapists in my life, and you by far are the best. Vanessa, before you were doing the groups, they were like pulling teeth, and I hated going. But now I just might show up for the heck of it. You run good groups. Kelly, I only have one group with you, and one one-on-one. You know Tally, and you know Vanessa, but I see you trying. Thanks. Ray, thanks for being there early. Deanna, you're the best. Deanna, or Danny. Thanks for challenging me in the beginning, and for mostly being fair. Much respect. Thank you. To my sister Amber, you're absolutely amazing. Thank you for being a part of my recovery. Love you. Uncle Bill, thanks for taking a chance on me and putting me to trust, even though others have probably warned you against it. It really meant a lot. And even though it seems to me every year you get a little shorter and shorter. Mom and Dad, thanks for always being there for me and never giving up. I know I put you through a lot of worry and hurt, and for that I'm very sorry. But you got your son back now. Chaz, I know I'm the luckiest man alive to be loved by you. You stuck by my side through this whole mess, even though you had every right to walk away. I will forever be grateful, and I have you in my life. Your love is unconditional, and I will never doubt that. I would have never made it through this without you. Thank you, babe. I love you. Judge Clark. Thanks for always being fair and firm when you needed to be. And thanks for the laughs. I've never seen so many smiles in the courtroom before. Today I have over 2 years and 2 months clean. That's it.
Deanna Quinn, that's a great question. When you call a participant and say, is there anything you want to tell me? You know what I call that in drug court? A loaded Actually, I didn't forget. I actually am saving, my story is I'm saving the best for last. And it's your fault anyway. We're always blaming Julie in the last few days, really. It's our wonderful, great public defender, Julia Kelly. I'm sorry. graduates and these brave speeches, and the lives that we've changed today, and the new life soon that we've certainly changed already, even though the child is not here with us right now. So that's awesome, and that's great for drug court and our relevance to society. So thank you all. It's great to see. There's probably going to be a motion to dismiss all these individuals' cases, I suspect. And that's granted, so they're all dismissed now. I want to acknowledge all the families that are here because the support is incredible. I know you've been through a lot, and there's a lot of trust issues, but you're here at the end, and that's important, so thank you to the families. We don't forget the suffering the families have done, and sometimes they go unnoticed, but there's a lot of suffering. It's not just one individual. We've come full circle, and we've got your families back, so congratulations.